Welcome to the She's Just Not That Into You podcast, where we're redefining female experiences and prioritizing female perspectives. I'm Rianne.
And I'm Dian. We are two friends with global background, sharing our multicultural experiences and discussing everything that sparks our passion.
Every week, we have honest, intimate conversations that we hope will inspire and empower not only each other, but women everywhere. Hey everyone, today we're talking about reality TV and all the pressures that come with appearing on reality TV as a woman. We thought this would be a very timely conversation as reality TV seems to be popular now more than ever before, especially with all these new reality TV shows appearing on Netflix as well. So June, I'm excited to talk about this today.
Yeah, I'm really excited as well. I feel like there's always this impossible beauty standards women face every single day, and even more so on social media and on the TV shows, like reality TV shows. So I think it's a very relevant conversation that we need to cover on our podcast.
Yeah, and I guess it's also not just beauty standards, but also the way that women behave socially, which is often criticized or judged by people as well.
Right.
You know, we were thinking that it would be even more interesting to examine what that's like, especially in a country like Japan, where there's obviously very strict beauty standards, but also a lot of different social norms and etiquettes for how women are expected to behave.
Right. But then I guess those pressures usually apply to like typical Japanese women, I guess. Probably foreigners living in Japan or people who have international backgrounds that can get away from them.
Yeah, that might be a possibility. And we thought that it would be perfect for us to discuss all this with my friend who actually has some first-hand experiences of being on a reality TV show in Japan. So I'm so excited to welcome our guest today, my wonderful friend Dian Zhou, who appeared on the Bachelor Japan Season 5, which was aired in 2023. Dian and I met here in Tokyo nearly 2 years ago through mutual friends, and we quickly got to know each other as we participated in an Iron Chef style charity cooking competition together. Dian made the most amazing Chinese food for that competition, which tasted so good that I still think about it from time to time, even now. Dian is Chinese and was born in China, but moved to Japan when she was young and grew up in Hiroshima, where she attended an international school before then going on to do an undergraduate degree at Waseda University in Tokyo, which is one of the best universities in Japan. She then moved to Australia to study a master's degree at the University of Queensland Business School before then moving back to Tokyo, where she still lives now. As you can see, Dian has a very interesting and international background, having had experiences with all kinds of diverse cultures in different countries. She currently runs her own business, doing various food-related projects, including catering, food events, and selling her own candy. Dian, we're so excited to have you on the podcast. Welcome.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, and thank you for the introduction. It's funny listening to your own introduction.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, so I think we're just gonna dive straight in with the questions we wanted to ask you about The Bachelor. So yeah, first of all, was it difficult to keep it a secret from your family and friends that you were on the show? Because I know you had to keep it a secret whilst filming, right?
Yes. So it wasn't aired, of course, like right after we filmed it. So the whole duration we couldn't tell anyone. Like it was literally my parents who knew, and maybe like one more person who I worked with, and then no one else knew, and I just couldn't tell anyone. I signed a contract, so. And yeah, it was very hard because during the filming they take away our phones and like everything, laptop.
That's a little extreme, I think.
I guess they want you to focus on the show plus
Mhm.
yeah, because in the past I think they've had issues where people couldn't keep it a secret, like they will talk. So yeah, it's pretty strict. So of course we couldn't tell anyone, but then people wonder where we went, especially during the filming, because they asked us to keep 3 months off, like from everything else, from like on our schedule. So I said I'm going back to China because I get like work email and stuff too, right? Like inquiry through like Instagram DM emails, and I wouldn't be able to reply to any of them. And like I knew my friends will start to worry if I just disappeared for, you know, even for a week. So I told them I will be in China, so I simply will lose access to all my social media. So at least I had like reasonable way to say why I was gonna be gone. But then also after we filmed everything, people were like, "How was China?" It's like,
Right.
"Oh, China was fun." And then yeah, even after that, it was hard. Like, because it was such an interesting experience, a unique experience, but I couldn't share it with my friends for a long time. So
What was everyone's reaction after they like found out that you are on the show? Like after it like, aired, like were they like shocked?
yeah, some people made the connection. They were like, "Oh, China!"
That was the China.
Yeah, like whenever I really go to China now, they're like, are you filming something again?" But yeah, people they were surprised. They were like, when, like how did you get into that? Like, did you have to audition? Like, they had so many questions about everything, but only few made the connection that the time I said I was going to China was when, yeah, I was filming it.
And it was filmed in Mexico, right? It is quite far away from
Yes.
Japan as well. So you were so far away from your family and your
Yes.
friends, and you couldn't contact anyone. It must have been really difficult as well.
Yeah, we didn't, like I said, they took away our phones, laptops, everything. We didn't have a TV, the place where we stayed
Yeah.
at. So we basically had no technology. Like we were reading books for entertainment. Yeah, so there was like no way to contact anyone, even if we wanted to.
That's so interesting because if you guys had wanted to, I feel like there could have been loads of ways to actually, maybe you guys could like buy a new phone in Mexico. Like if you guys had really wanted to
We couldn't go out. We couldn't leave our villa.
for the entire 3 months.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
So not
god.
everyone stayed there for 3 months.
Wow.
It was like it's just on like the entry sheet. It says like just 3 months. You need to block 3 months off your calendar. But people get eliminated, they leave. But
Hmm.
until you're like completely eliminated, the moment I got home, that was when I was like finally free to do what I want. Okay, I wasn't 100% free because I
Hmm.
still couldn't post on Instagram and stuff. Didn't have freedom, so we couldn't get but like go buy a phone. We couldn't do
Right.
anything. We had to just stay there, like in the villa.
Wow. It's very intense.
Intense, right? I'm sure it's different for different reality shows in Japan and like in the world, but for Bachelor, yeah, that was the case.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've watched Terrace House, which is a Japanese reality TV show, and in that one,
Yep.
people have
Yeah,
like their normal
it's
jobs and they
just
like come and
like
go every day to their normal job and everything. But yeah, The Bachelor seems very intense.
yeah, you're fully committed to the show during that time.
Yeah, and obviously you weren't allowed to work during that time either, right? Yeah, so it was a really big commitment because you had to like, yeah, stop doing whatever work you were doing as well. Yeah.
But it was a good digital detox for me. I actually enjoyed that part because we are on Instagram all the time. Like everyone is, but especially because I get work contact through Instagram DMs as well. So yeah, it's a little stressful. It's not like I can choose not to be on social media now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good that I didn't have to be on social media or like didn't have to worry about receiving emails, texts.
So what was the best moment and the worst moment of your experience being on the show?
The digital detox part was the best, I would say. And also making friends. So, all the people I met, so we're still really close with all the girls. And because we went through that very unique experience together, we have a strong bond, I think.
Mm.
And the worst part, yeah, so I think the worst moment was getting eliminated because the moment you're eliminated, like you're separated from everyone else. So you say bye to the girls
Yeah.
when the camera's on, and then you really don't see them anymore. So they'll put me in a different room, and yeah, I couldn't see them.
So they have to fly back to Japan right away.
It was so sad because I had to say bye to people, and
Mm.
I wasn't ready to say bye to all my girls. So we weren't allowed to see each other or like talk to each other. We weren't allowed to exchange contacts until the show was aired. So once you're eliminated, you're not going to see them or talk to them for a long time. So I was very sad. I wasn't ready to say bye to them.
Yeah, that's so amazing how like the whole premise of the show is that all the girls are competing against each other as rivals. But then it's so amazing how it sounds like some kind of like sisterhood was developed and
Yeah, I was a little scared going into the show, thinking, what if all the girls were really mean?
mm,
And because in the beginning we weren't allowed to talk to each other,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so until when the camera's on and like we interact for the first time, everyone looked so intimidating. But then yeah, once I got to know them, they were all really sweet,
Yeah.
and yeah, we became good friends.
What about the guys? Do you guys like stay in contact with them, like the guy friends?
The guy,
Yeah.
the bachelor himself, yeah, there's one guy.
Oh, there's only one guy. Really?
Yeah. But that's the whole point of the show. We're fighting over this one guy.
Oh my god.
There's only one
Wait,
guy.
then how many girls were there?
16.
Yeah.
What?
1-6. Yeah.
The whole
Oh my god.
Yep.
Wow. I
Um,
feel like this whole concept. Yeah. Okay. It feels.
but that's
It feels
another.
pretty misogynistic to me, the whole concept and everything. But I'm glad that the real sisterhood was there, and even the whole concept was about the competition.
Mhm. I mean, there was competition, of
Yeah.
course. We all wanted to like be chosen. Yeah, yeah, and yeah. But yeah, I actually don't. I'm not keeping in contact with the guy because during the filming, I spend most of the time with the girls and very little time with the guy. So, and also he was dating one of the girls, like the finalist, for a while. So when I talk to her, I'd hear things about him, and like if I see him on the street, I'll say hi. Like it's not like I don't like him or I have anything against him, but simply we just didn't have the chance to meet again after the show. So yeah, we're not in touch.
Yeah. But now there's June, I don't know if you know, there's another show now. I think it's called The Bachelorette and it's the reverse, right?
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So I think you also were saying that you'd received a lot of messages from people who'd viewed the show and felt that you had a positive impact on them.
Yeah, I got a lot of messages on Instagram.
Mm.
I think about like 70-80% of them were talking about on the episode when I got eliminated, the conversation I had with the bachelor about forgiveness. Like I said something, I like forgiveness is not for the people you're forgiving, but like I do it for myself, like something like that. And many people texted me saying that helped them in a way to let go of things they were holding on from the past. And I also received a lot of messages saying they just liked my facial expressions.
Yeah, they're so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember you said that you had to choose the outfits you wore on the show. So how did you decide what to
So
wear?
when I found out we were filming in Mexico, I wanted to, of course, like look nice because I'm gonna be on TV. I wanted to wear a lot of colors, but then I don't have
Yeah.
a lot of clothes. So I remember buying stuff online. Also, the thing is, stuff will come to us and say like, pick out your outfit for the next day. But we have to choose blindly. Like, we don't know what's going to happen in the filming. We don't know where we're going. We don't know who's going to be there. We don't know if it's like a one-on-one date situation, a group date situation. We don't know anything. So, and we don't know how long the filming is going to be. We don't know that like that scene will be used on TV. So it was hard to pick out the outfits. Like, first, so I had to buy a lot of outfits, plus choosing what to wear on each time they're filming. Um, so yeah, I ended up just wearing what I wanted to wear because I also didn't know when I was gonna get eliminated, and like you don't want to waste a good outfit on a day where there's like not much happening, but also you don't want to not wear it at all because once you get eliminated, you just simply lose the chance. So yeah, we all had like struggle to choose what to wear. Um, and also for the parties, like the rose ceremony and stuff, like cocktail parties, they provided us with the dresses. And some people were more picky, like they knew what they liked, but I was whatever, like whatever they picked for me, I'll wear it.
Yeah. Okay. And you had to do your own makeup, right?
Yes, so makeup, it was all ourselves. Hair, they would do our hair for the parties, but then on like a regular day
Yeah.
in filming, it's ourselves doing everything.
So when you showed up in the outfit and with the makeup that you chose, were there any moments that the
Mhm.
producers um, gave you some feedback and changed something or something like that?
Sometimes yes, but it was more because if we had like logos, like we couldn't show logos.
Oh,
Yeah,
this is because
yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah. Or
yeah
some
the
patterns,
rights
just the
issues and
camera would
everything.
go weird. But it
Mm.
wasn't like
Mm.
you look fat in that, so change. No, yeah, nothing like that happened.
Okay. Yeah, it seemed kind of stressful in terms of like packing for the trip as well, because I remember you said that no, you would never know who would get eliminated, so everyone had to pack their suitcase every time, right? Just in case. So what was it like every time they choose who gets eliminated, you have to pack just in case you're the one who gets eliminated?
Yeah. So every time there's the cocktail party and at rose ceremony, we if we don't receive a rose, then we have to leave. But every time before rose ceremony, everyone had to pack. So like we don't go back to our own room, but the staff will go pick up our luggage, and yeah, so we don't see other girls.
Yeah, because you have to go straight to the airport once you get eliminated, right? To fly back to Japan. That sounds really stressful having to pack every time.
It was very stressful. It was that was actually, I'll change can I change my answer to the previous question? The worst part? I'd say the packing. I don't like packing. Like you have to pack, then unpack, and a few days later there's another like rose ceremony every time is already so stressful because for sure
Yeah.
one of your friends is leaving the show. So even if it's not yourself, you're saying bye to a nice girl,
Right.
and like I said, you don't get to talk to her or see
Yeah.
her for a while. So packing made it extra stressful.
Yeah.
Like it made it feel real.
So yeah, speaking of all the outfits and stuff, while you were on the show, did you feel any pressure to adapt to any beauty standards? Or, for example, did the producers encourage you or anyone else to have plastic surgery or change your appearance in any way before appearing on the show?
So to answer your first question, to answer the first part, I did feel pressured to fit more into the Japanese beauty standards. Not because I was told to lose weight or anything, but like, I just simply felt like I am tall, and like for an Asian, I think I'm 170, so I'm considered pretty tall in Japan as a girl. And plus, I'm not like skinny, so I think in like Japanese standard, I'm way above average. And the reality show, it's supposed to be like good looking girls all competing for this eligible bachelor. So I was like, okay, I need to look nice. And also I wanted to have more options in clothes I could wear because I can't fit into all the clothes they sell in Japan. And also they when they provide us the dresses, some are bigger, some are smaller. So I simply wanted to have more options, and also because I didn't know like what kind of girls that bachelor liked, so I had to imagine he likes regular like Japanese like girls who fits in the like beauty standard in Japan, and that's usually smaller than how I am. So like I went to the gym maybe like 8 9 times a week, so I go twice in a day sometimes.
That's so crazy. Wow.
But I didn't do anything extreme. Like I didn't go onto any extreme diet because for me, being healthy is the priority. I was never told to do anything, like to change anything appearance wise. And I can't speak for other people, but I haven't heard anyone say anything like that. That being said, everyone wants to look their best. So I know people are getting like fillers, or I got my teeth whitened, haircuts, things like that. And also, everyone gained weight during the shooting because we didn't have anything to do apart from eating and chatting. So I gained like 5 kilos
Right.
during the filming. Yeah, I think there was only 1 or 2 girls who actually lost weight,
Really?
but everyone else gained 3 to 7 8 kilos. Yeah, and like girls who stayed for like longer periods of time.
Mm.
And I remember the stylist we had. She said, like, you girls not in a bad way. But she said something like, "You guys don't seem to be like too stressed about your weight compared to the girls from previous seasons." So I've heard people talk about how in the past seasons, people felt much bigger pressure about like to watch their weight, and I don't know if it came from the producers or it was just naturally themselves who felt that way. But yeah, I think the stylist we had like the when she said we seem not to care too much about, you know, I think she said it in a positive way. Like we were in a way like being ourselves and enjoying. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty shocked when I think you said before that you believe it's the industry standard for people to undergo an extensive change in their appearance before appearing on reality TV.
Yes. From what I hear from other people, I
Yeah.
think, yeah, that is the industry standard. And I am grateful, thankful that the show I appeared on wasn't like that. And I think the other girls too, they cared more about their mental health and physical health over being unhealthily skinny on TV. Yeah.
Which is really nice.
Yeah, by the way, it's really shocking that you said earlier that you're not skinny and you feel like you're big.
I can't fit in the clothes they sell here.
Yeah, so like by Western standards, I think you're like pretty small, like you're really skinny and like but then like it just goes to show how crazy it is in Japan.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's also my parents. Like, they're Chinese, and China people are usually pretty
Mm.
skinny as well. Like, girls, it's good to be skinny. So, every time I go home, my parents were like, "Did you gain weight?" Like, that's the first thing they say to me.
Oh god.
Yeah, I know. Like, it sounds a little toxic. Like, my parents love me. Like, I know that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's just a Chinese thing. So I try not to, overthink.
Yeah, I feel maybe it's just Asian parents in general because my
Yeah.
mom is always telling me that I'm fat and stuff like that.
Right? And you're not fat. No one would say you're fat. But yeah, I think it's an Asian parent thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Japanese beauty standards and general standards for how women should be, did you feel any pressure while you're on the show to adhere to certain social norms for how females should behave or anything like that?
I think that's a really good question. And it's really hard for me to answer. Yes and no. I wanted to be myself on the show. And because of course I want to stay longer in the show. I want to be chosen by the bachelor, but I also didn't want him to choose me for who I am not. And also because it's a TV show, I knew other people were going to watch it and they would think that's who I am, like the way I appear on TV. And I just didn't want to be someone else.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, for me, the priority was to be myself, and people usually say I'm loud. One comment I often get from my Japanese friends, 黙ってたらモテるのに. It's like, you'd be so popular if you just kept your mouth shut.
Yeah.
And also, like, make less movements.
This is so ridiculous. By Western standards, I don't even think you're that loud.
Right? Oh my god, thank you. And so, yeah, I know, like, in Japanese standard, I'm very loud. I'm a little too much. But then I wasn't gonna change that because I also thought, because it's still a TV show, so they want different types of people on the show. And I thought it would be a good thing if I stood out.
Yeah.
And that might mean I will get eliminated earlier. But yeah, I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm just gonna be who I am. And if they don't like it, meh.
Also, the feedback I got from my friends who watched the show was that they really liked you because they felt like you were kind of like a breath of fresh air because you were just being yourself and you were being funny. And it's not that normal on TV in Japan that we see young females who are in a more kind of comic role, because I feel like there's so much pressure, as you said, to be quiet and to be like focused on looking pretty but not saying much, you know.
Not having personality.
Yeah. That's so problematic that not having a personality is seen as something positive.
Yeah. You know, like the girls who were on The Bachelor, everyone was pretty loud on my season. When we're chatting, we're all very loud. And once the camera's on, they all get like really quiet. And it's just me going crazy by myself. And like they're not faking it or anything. I think like naturally, like it's in their blood to quiet down when the camera's on.
Yeah, I can totally imagine the anxiety though, because in front of camera and it's going to be aired like national wide. So there's going to be a lot of judgment, a lot of prejudice on how you appear on TV. So I guess people get naturally a lot more anxious about everything, you know, what they say and what they do and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. You know, like when Japanese female, when they pick up the phone, their voice changes. I think it's like that. They don't even think about it. So they have like 外に向ける顔と内側の顔. So they have different personalities for people that they show to people, and they have a different side that they only show to their like closest friends or family.
There's so many memes I've seen which are so relatable because it's about your mum will be like shouting at you about something and then she picks up the phone and it's a completely different voice.
Moshi moshi.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, hi.
Yeah.
Have you read The Sun, the Thumb, and the Sword?
No.
No. Kikuto Katana.
Okay.
It talks about Japanese mindset and stuff, like Japanese culture.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, Kiku is a flower, right?
Yeah.
And the katana sword.
Yeah.
So it shows like how there are two sides, and like in most Japanese people, like the way they act. And yeah, it's an interesting book, which I haven't read.
Okay. That's interesting because I remember June was telling me the other day. June lives in Seoul and she said she saw some Japanese people on the subway in Seoul who were being really loud.
Yeah, they were super loud.
And in Japan, there's so much pressure to be super quiet in the subway, right?
Yeah, no one talks.
It's interesting when people go abroad in a different environment, they feel liberated to be themselves.
I think your international background really helped you be who you are on the show because you are slightly away from all the stereotypes that they expect from Japanese women. And I guess that must have been a little helpful.
So the Bachelor Japan, you can only see in Japan. Like it, you can see if even if you had Prime videos overseas, you can't watch it unless you have like VPN. So the audience, I'd say, is like 99% Japanese. I think it's a good thing that like every season they add one or two international people, because some Japanese people, like we live in Tokyo, so we don't feel this much. But I grew up in Hiroshima, and if you go to like rural Japan, there are people who's really like never seen a white dude, like they're everywhere here. And to them, you don't realize how not international some areas are in Japan. And they don't watch like foreign TV shows or anything. And they watch Japanese TV and see Hafu people or like international people on TV, but then it's not a reality show. So I think it's good for like the very Japanese audience to see a little bit of how international people are, like really are, like have an essence of like the international culture.
So, in terms of the kind of desired image of what an attractive woman should be like and how that was portrayed in the show or just the season you were on, do you think that accurately reflects Japanese society?
To a point, yes. This is my personal view. Plus, I did talk to a few friends who are from international background, and their opinion was the guy ended up choosing a girl who fits in the Japanese standard of an attractive girl. And also, you know how Japanese guys, majority of them like girls to be weaker than them and like be like, I need help, I need your help, oh, blah, 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 you know, like the way they act. And many people thought that the guy chose a girl fits in that category instead of like an independent woman.
Right. So, do you feel like these reality TV shows are different in Japan compared to in Western countries?
Yes. I haven't seen many reality shows in Japan or in the West, but from what I have seen, I think the Western reality shows more reality. Like from what I heard, they have the camera rolling 24/7. Yeah, that's one difference I know. In Japan, like compliance wise, they wouldn't do that. Normally, maybe some shows they do, so they catch more drama, I think. I think in Japan it's less dramatic.
Right. Yeah, I got that from watching Terrace House as well.
Yeah, like Jersey Shore. What like look at Jersey Shore. It's crazy. And I think Japanese reality shows in general are more.
Peaceful?
I mean, it's more not peaceful. It looks peaceful on the surface, maybe.
Maybe it's more of a setup, I think, not
Mm,
natural.
maybe.
Hmm.
But they have The Bachelor in many other countries, but I think the Japanese one is the most peaceful. It looks quieter.
Yeah, maybe it's a cultural thing because Japanese society is,
Yeah, like people are in general more passive.
yeah, people really are. So, do you have anything to say to the girls out there who might have watched the show already or who will watch it later? Maybe thinking that the reality show is really everything real, or maybe they will have some unrealistic expectations that they watch from the show. Do you have anything to say to the girls out there?
I would say, remember, it's still a show. It's a reality show, but it is a show.
Right.
And also, you're only seeing maybe like 1% of what's happening. So don't take it as the whole truth or whole reality. Be aware of what's happening around you and not on the screen. It's an entertainment.
Yeah. What's happening around us is that's real.
Yeah. Sadly, that's the real reality. Yeah.
Mm. So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today about your experiences. And please feel free to share what are your work plans or projects going forward.
I have a new project coming up. I'll be selling cookies, chocolate chip cookies. So I do my own catering and like food related projects, but I'm starting to shift my work for something more. Not everything needs to be hands on. I'm developing a recipe, but I have a factory who will make it for me and I'll promote it. But I want the product to sell itself.
Wow.
Yeah, it's something I'm working on. Like I'm a freelancer, but I'm trying to change the way I work.
Yeah. Do you think being on The Bachelor changed your business at all? Did you get a lot more exposure because of it?
Yes, yes. And I was working crazy hours last year after the show was aired. And at one point, I realized I can't continue doing it. And also because I'm 33 and I'm single right now, but I do want to start a family. So that's something else I need to think about, how to balance my career and my personal life. And that has a big impact on the choices I make. And I think it will have bigger impact on career choices I'll be making from now on.
That's great. Thank you so much for joining us today and best of luck for your business moving forward. Thank you for the inspiring conversation.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening to our latest episode. And if you like that, please share with a friend.
We'd also really appreciate if you could rate and review our podcast. And please get in touch if you have any feedback.
We'll be back again with another episode next week.